So if you're gonna work with people, be in a relationship with anybody, long term, you have to learn about their weaknesses. It's more important to know a person's weakness than their strength. And this is why. People rarely hide their strengths, but people rarely flaunt their weaknesses. Most people are hiding their weaknesses. And because they're hiding it, there are some telltale signs that you could observe that indirectly tells you that somebody's hiding their weaknesses. Just like you could tell if somebody's hiding underwater, you don't have to look at their body. You could just look for the air bubbles that are popping up. Hiding weaknesses always has sign. If somebody's hiding behind a tree, you may not see them visually, but if you could sense their smell, or you could look at ultraviolet rays, or you could look at the way that the tree looks, and through that, maybe you could sense that there's somebody behind that, right? So even though people hide things, everything leaves marks. Everything leaves a mark and leaves clues. Okay, guys, if you guys are enjoying this video, don't forget there's a free ebook and audiobook on the description down below. Just put your email and I'll send it straight to your inbox. It's about how to get a guy to chase. Also, we have one-on-one coaching. My website there, you can book a call, know exactly when I'm available, we know exactly the times, right? As you can see, there's a schedule. You guys can book a call. And the beauty about it is that you know exactly when to talk to me. So just click on the description down below. The calls are completely confidential. And above all, check out the Patreon for more exclusive content. Let's continue with the video. And so we're going to discover what that is, because a lot of the times what we consider our strengths are really just weaknesses in disguise. Almost all the time, a lot of the times, right? So let's talk about that. Now, remember, this is much easier. Reading people and learning their weaknesses is much easier when you know them in a social circle. Meaning, when you know them in isolation, through their friend, through like online dating, or maybe somebody recommended you somebody to hire, for example, you don't have that context, that social context. But when you know them through the friends and family, by you just knowing who their friends are, how their family members are, you have context that can be used to understand them in a holistic way. But when you know them from Bumblefuck and you have no network with them, you don't have that type of like feeling, touching grass type of connection with them. So it's almost like studying a tree without studying what other trees are around it, and without knowing what country is in and the type of climate. You need that context. So remember, it's much easier to start with the social circle. And the way to get information out of them is to always start by seeming interested in them. It always starts that way. The appearance of a sympathetic ear will spur anyone to talk. So just being interested, being curious, not raising any defenses will get them to start talking, right? And as they're talking to you, or as you're observing them talk to other people, you want to be able to stop. You want to be able to not pay attention to words as much, and give more emphasis on gestures and unconscious signals that they send out. Because these gestures and unconscious signals are things that they're doing unconsciously. Words are conscious. The paralanguage and your gestures are not conscious. You want to look for the unconscious signals. Those are the ones that tell you. Why? Because unconscious signals always reveals what the person is hiding. Why? Because humans have a deep need to reveal themselves. People don't want to, like deathbed confessions, right? People want to reveal even their dark side. They're yearning for somebody to know who they are. So because of that, their conscious mind might not be sending those signals out because they know of the consequences, but their unconscious mind, which is their body, will leak out those unconscious signals on your behalf. The key is to not only what you look for, which is the key, like the words and the weaknesses, but where and how you look. So you gotta look not at their words, but nonverbal cues, and not just look at them and listen to what they're saying so that you can respond. You have to listen with an open and a level, calm mind. If your mind is distracted, if you're thinking about what to say next, if you're thinking about yourself, you're not going to pay attention to their nonverbal cues. Like nonverbal cues say so much about people, say so much that we tend to ignore it because we just don't know how to read those signals. So, body language, facial expressions, and other nonverbal cues can tell you a lot about what makes a person uncomfortable or defensive. For instance, sudden changes in postures or avoidance of eye contact or fidgeting can indicate discomfort or potentially areas of sensitivity. For example, if I asked you, tell me about your ex, and the whole time you were animated, but then when I asked you about your ex, all of a sudden your voice, you start touching your face more, you start blinking more, you start looking around more, or maybe you just talk about it with less enthusiasm, and maybe you just change the topic. When that happens, a lot of people would just ignore it and think no and not think much about it. You get what I'm saying? Oh, he just doesn't want to talk about it. But if you're actually paying attention, you'll notice that they were talking about it. They looked around. They were like, "Nice, he's a nice guy." The smile was fake. There was a lot of fidgety in the voice, and they changed the topic. But now, in your mind, you say that their ex is a sensitive subject, right? Or maybe when they talk about a war, like the Israeli and Palestinian stuff like that, they get very emotional, and now you know they have an emotional attachment to this. Something you could use to understand them a little bit better, or to influence them one way or another. All right, if you guys enjoyed that video, you guys are gonna like my new course. It's called the Commitment Blueprint. It's a course that I created for women who are struggling with finding themselves in situationships, finding themselves with men who like them but don't want to commit, finding themselves with giving too much and not getting much in return. And the beauty about getting commitment is that it has nothing to do with, about your looks and more to do about your strategy. Like I've seen women apply these strategies and get married and have kids and have long lasting relationships. Why? Because the strategies that I'm going to teach on this course is based on pure psychology. I've been working on this for the past 2 years. For the past 2 years. And I've every time I make a promise on my courses, if you guys have gotten my courses, you guys know I over deliver, right? And the reason why I made this course is because a lot of ladies watch my videos, and unfortunately, you guys give too much. You guys love too hard, and that attracts the wrong energy. So it's really about learning how to manage this energy. You're gonna attract different types of guys by learning how to control that energy, right? And if you don't believe me, well, guess what? You can find all of these reviews of women who have taken my courses and have achieved the promises in my courses. And look, the beauty about it is that you can pre-order this course for $75 rather than $99. And when the course comes out and you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. I'll give you your money back if you don't like it, and you have 30 days to get your money back. But I'm telling you, I guarantee that if you do exactly what the score says, you will find commitment. And above all, you're gonna stop wasting your time with the wrong guys. Because at the end of the day, to find the right guy, it's all about filtering the wrong guys. Eventually, the right guys will filter through. If you just apply what the course says, it'll break the negative pattern of being attracted to guys that are not into commitment. I'm telling you, there's a reason why you attract guys who are not committed. It's because there's a pattern and you're not aware of it. And sometimes you need someone like Father Alex to show you these patterns and in order to break it. Like I've seen it many times before. Okay. So just pre-order right now on the description down below. I like to think this is going to be my best course I've ever done in my life. I have that feeling, especially with all the research that I've done, you're gonna get results, guaranteed, or your money back. Anyways, take care.